What's going on, everybody? Marla Cross 316 back with another comic book flashback. And today, folks, we are looking at Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 62. And today's title is Carnage Part 3. And this is where we'll finally get to see Carnage in this issue. And man, we have a hectic issue today. I mean, what a cool cover, by the way. This is awesome. And so we have Carnage. He is on the loose. And we're not going to see Spider-Man in this issue, which is kind of strange. And so we got to really think about the mystery behind all of this. We know that Carnage pretty much has been created thanks to the blood sample of Peter Parker. And so now we see that Ben Reilly and Kurt Connors has been keeping this a little bit of a secret. They've been keeping this a secret actually for 3 months. And so we see that Empire State University Biolabs, Ben Reilly is going to come, and he notices that it looked like an infant, really. Carnage looked like an infant in last issue, but now he's out of the tube. He's gone. And Ben Reilly is starting to freak out here because if this is, if Carnage is on the loose, then who knows what Carnage could be up to. And so we see that Ben Reilly is going to call Kurt Connors here, and he's like, Dr. Connors, it's Ben Reilly. Did you take Little Ben? So they called him Little Ben. And he says, because it's gone. No, the incubator tank is open, and oh man, we've been robbed. So Ben Reilly thinks that he's been robbed here. They've both been robbed. All of a sudden he hears a scream. And what we see here is that someone has been murdered here. I mean, their whole life has just been completely sucked out of them. As we see, they're like a corpse. So this police officer is basically being killed, and it's probably Carnage. Carnage has to do with it here. And so everybody starts to scream again and said, he's dead, he's dead. So, oh God, I don't understand what could have done something like this. Only Ben Reilly and Kurt Connors knows exactly what could happen. Now let's change scenes here. We're at Queen Center Mall Food Court. You see that Gwen Stacy is there, and she's like, Lord, what is wrong with you people? She's kind of like an outcast, as we've seen in these last issues. And you know how long Gwen has been in these comics. And so she meets up with Mary Jane, and Mary Jane has gotten a job because her dad has left the house, left her left her mom, and now she doesn't get an allowance anymore. So now Mary Jane is going to start helping as she gets a job here. She's going to be a fry girl, basically. Gwen is making fun of how she's dressed. Anyway, we see that Gwen and Mary Jane are going to bond here. They talk about Peter. They talk about how Gwen found out about Peter being Spider-Man. And, Mary Jane opens up to Gwen about how she had almost died once, that time being when she was thrown off the Washington Bridge, thanks to the Green Goblin. And so they basically bond here for the first time, really. We see that they bond. So that's good. And Gwen says, look, I don't have anything for Peter. Don't worry about it. And Peter adores you. And so now let's continue. We see that Carnage is going to have 2 more victims here. Here he is. He's in the hidden alley here. And this guy thinks that it's just a kid, as we thought. He looks like an infant, but this is going to turn for the worst. We see that this guy is going to die first. His life is completely sucked out of him. Then this girl, his girlfriend, is going to be killed. She's like, no, please, somebody, please. And then she is going to be killed as well, as we hear a chunk. And finally, we see, for the first time ever, the Carnage that we know. The Carnage that we know that looks like this. Yes. Here we go, folks. Carnage is on the loose. And this Carnage, the Ultimate Universe Carnage, even more savage than the regular universe Carnage. And we see that bodies continue to just pile up here, one after the other, as Carnage is on the loose. Dr. Kirk Connors learns about it as the New York Police Department comes and investigates. And he says, this is, I think this is, can't remember her name, but anyway, we see that the New York Police Department is going to come and investigate, and she says, Doctor, where have you been? He said, I was with my son and my ex-wife. She can prove it. So we see that he's going to walk in, and he notices that, Ben Riley is, just, I can't believe what's happened. They both look at each other, and we see in that hidden alley, something's very strange going on. We don't know exactly who the identity of Carnage is. Is he like something created out of a test tube, or is he has a human identity? I don't know, but one thing we can suspect from this issue is that he has the memories of Peter Parker. He knows Spider-Man. He knows who Spider-Man is. He knows Mary Jane. He knows everything about Peter Parker's life. So I'm suspecting, is this Peter Parker? Is Peter Parker Carnage? That's what we have to figure out here as we see all the memories right here from infanthood to current day. And we see once again like he figures out how to swing based on his symbiote suit, just like Spider-Man. So it's very, very peculiar here. And he's going to come to Peter Parker's home and hide in these bushes. And oh my God, folks, I can't believe this. So Gwen is headed towards the house. She's looking for a key. She goes to the back. The basement is locked. She hears a rustle in the bushes. She thinks it's Peter. It's actually Carnage. And folks, I'm unfortunate to tell you that Gwen Stacy is going to die. We see that Carnage's next victim is none other than Gwen Stacy. And when she looks inside Carnage, she can see a face. Is this Peter Parker? We don't know. And so we see that Gwen Stacy, unfortunately, dies in this issue. And that is how we end this issue, folks. Crazy stuff. Didn't even expect it, but that's how we end this issue. Unfortunately, Gwen Stacy dies in this issue. So up next, folks, we'll be looking at issue number 63,